little something I want to share with you. Over the weekend, I was watching a video, and it kind of reminded me of the business. It was in regards to the 10,000 hour rule. Has anybody ever heard of that?
Yes, I have, Jeremy.
All right, cool. Travis, can you explain what you believe the 10,000 hour rule is?
If you spend 10,000 hours doing any specific thing, you will be a master at that thing. So BMX, I've done it 13 years. I've done over 10,000 hours riding my bike. So you could say technically I am a master at riding BMX.
Right, exactly. The thing is, basically people think, right, okay, we got to do something for 10,000 hours to be an expert, a master, right? But do you have to be a master at something to be good at it? Slowly over time, it went from 10,000 hours to be a master, to 10,000 hours to be an expert, to 10,000 hours to be good at it, to 10,000 hours to even learn something, right? That's how our minds work. And a lot of us, I'm sure as you felt when you walk into the field for the first time and you're pitching doors for the first time, you don't want to look stupid. You don't want to feel stupid. You don't want to fail, right? It's kind of a mental, I guess, barrier that we all have that protects us, right? We don't want to lose. We don't want to fail. We don't want to look stupid. We don't want to be a failure, right? So your brain will tell you to stop trying to do something, right? Your brain will kind of tell you, okay, no, stick to what you know, right? For me, for example, I was a good example of that when I started sales. I was a bouncer before doing this, right? And it was my job to tell people no and get off the stuff and yell at them or, toss them out the club, right? So it was a complete shift of what I was doing for my job to start selling, right? I got a little video for you guys. It kind of explains, it debunks the 10,000 hour rule. And basically the gist of it is that, let's see, how much time do I got? I got 38, okay, cool. Basically the gist is you don't need 10,000 hours to be good at something. You only really need 20. 20 hours of dedicated time to practice and actually do the exact task you want to do. In this case, it would be sales, right? To get good at sales. I'm gonna send this over. Whoever's the host, could you play that video for me?
Now, my question is, I want that, right? How long does it take from starting something and being grossly incompetent and knowing it to being reasonably good in, hopefully, as short a period of time as possible? So, how long does that take? Here's what my research says. 20 hours. That's it. You can go from knowing nothing about any skill that you can think of. Want to learn a language? Want to learn how to draw? Want to learn how to juggle flaming chainsaws? If you put 20 hours of focused, deliberate practice into that thing, you will be astounded at how good you are. 20 hours is doable. That's about 45 minutes a day for about a month, even skipping a couple days here and there. 20 hours isn't those 20 hours in the most effective way that you possibly can. And here's the method. It applies to anything. The first is to deconstruct the skill. Decide exactly what you want to be able to do when you're done, and then look into the skill and break it down into smaller and smaller. Most of the things that we think of as skills are actually big bundles of skills that require all sorts of different things. The more you can break apart the skill, the more you're able to decide what are the parts of this skill that will actually help me get to what I want, and then you can practice those first. And if you practice the most important things first, you'll be able to improve your performance in the least amount of time possible. The second is learn enough to self-correct. So get 3 to 5 resources about what it is you're trying to learn. Could be books, could be DVDs, could be courses, could be anything. but don't use those as a way to procrastinate on practice. I know I do this, right? Get like 20 books about the topic. It's like, I'm gonna start learning how to program a computer when I complete these 20 books. No, that's procrastination. What you want to do is learn just enough that you can actually practice and self-correct or self-edit as you practice. So the learning becomes a way of getting better at noticing when you're making a mistake and then doing something a little different. The third is to remove barriers to practice. Distractions, television, internet, all of these things that get in the way of you actually sitting down and doing the work. And the more you're able to use just a little bit of willpower to remove the distractions that are keeping you from practicing, the more likely you are to actually sit down and practice, right? And the fourth is to practice for at least 20 hours. Now, most skills have what I call a frustration barrier. You know, the grossly incompetent and knowing it part, that's really, really frustrating. We don't like to feel stupid. And feeling stupid is a barrier to us actually sitting down and doing the work. So by pre-committing to practicing whatever it is that you want to do for at least 20 hours, you will be able to overcome that initial frustration barrier and stick with the practice long enough to actually reap the rewards. All right, that's it. It's not rocket science. 4 very simple steps that you can use to learn anything.
Doesn't take 10,000 hours to be an expert, man. Go out there, practice, deliberate practice, pitch. If you're struggling with building a team, practice, practice, practice. I know it might feel like you're putting in a lot of time, but the actual time you're doing the action is what I'm talking about. The actual time pitching, the actual time training, right? You guys will get good quick. Just put in the time, put in the effort. I promise you're gonna succeed. All right, guys, you can take it away.